definitely do not sound as good
when I point the camera and the drone up towards the sun.
So I'm tracking this plane.
Cool, it is completely eclipsed.
Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Man Cave Technology. Right behind me is the Oregon State Capitol as well as the sun, and we are getting a totality eclipse here, and this is the chaos, the excitement, and the craziness of the eclipse.
Chief complaint, left hip vein, second, third to ground level fall.
All right, so I am on the look for national news media. Just past the Capitol, a ton of people from out of town and other states and Canada, because I see the license plates, but they're also taking lots of photos of the Capitol. And if you live here, you really just kind of don't care. So, well, you care, but you don't want to take a photo every day. All right, so I found some national media. They're setting up their satellite truck right now. There's also a cool little antenna array going on. Okay, so we're at a park right now, and I've got my ham radio gear with me. There's actually been a lot of buildup to this eclipse because a lot of visitors have been expected, and the city is actually permitting people to camp in the park. This is the day before the eclipse, so I'm out scoping out, seeing what's going on here. Just a lot of activity going on in preparation for the eclipse. So this is not exactly eclipse related, but look at that rigging. All right, so one of the things that I've been doing during this time is they expected a ton of visitors and a possible communication breakdown. Just in case.
Transmission should be better now if my antenna's higher.
Yeah, you definitely do not sound as good as you did last night when you were outside. You're cutting out quite a bit there at the end. I could kind of, a couple other things that are going on right now that I've set up. I did install a plane tracker. I'll do a whole video on this, but I want to track and see if I can find a NASA plane tomorrow. So let me show you that real quick. All right, so basically I'm using the Flight Aware system. Here we go. So I'm tracking this plane, and what's awesome is you see that sucker moving, and we're able to see this information coming from ADSB. And basically what's cool is you can obviously get this information online, but I'm actually live tracking this with an antenna. So basically here's what's going on. I have back here, first off, this is the screen to the Raspberry Pi. It's running PiAware, and basically we're showing that everything is normal. The only thing that's down is Ethernet because I'm using the built-in Wi-Fi on the Raspberry Pi. So there's my Raspberry Pi. It is running the software on that SD card. Then this is the RF module, and then here's the wire that actually goes out to my antenna. Right here, mounted on my grill. This is the little antenna that I'm using to receive these. I am going to need to make some improvements to the antenna and how everything works, but we'll see tomorrow. If I capture just anything, I'll be happy. It is the morning of the eclipse. We have the sun up there, and I have like way too much stuff. I think I'm gonna set up a little bit of radio stuff. I got some camera gear, and this is not exactly where I had originally planned, but I think this is better because there's really like no one here, and I'm gonna have the ability to probably get away with just more shenanigans out here. But this is gonna be awesome. We've brought Houdini along, so we're gonna see his behavior during the eclipse. If that's a sign of things to come, then I guess we know what animals do during this.
W7FIS.
All right, so I got most of my stuff out here. Gonna set up camp, monitoring
radio, we have traffic. Up, the sun is super bright. I'm setting up some solar panels so I can keep some power, so we can try to get some news coverage. I'm using the OmniCharge, which you can't hardly see the screen, but this guy is taking in power from the solar panel, and we'll use that to keep things running. And basically, I'm just gonna finish getting set up and see what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and send the drone up and just kind of get an aerial. I most likely will not be having it up during the eclipse just because I'll have other things going on, but we'll see. So I'm gonna give that a test and see what happens. So one of the things that's been talked about is animal behavior during an eclipse, and we were watching something the other day that encouraged us to send in information about animal behavior. So some animals that may come out of the ground here, so we will be monitoring for that, and we will be monitoring this Chihuahua for any strange eclipse behavior that may or may not occur.
It is getting pretty close. Well, I guess not close, but it's getting there.
So at this point, a lot of this is going to be hard to see on video, but basically things are getting kind of weird. It's just very orangey. It's not what it should normally look like. It's a little different. Yeah, it definitely is starting to cool off. Things are getting weird. This jet is definitely cool. There he goes, looping around. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh my.
This is crazy.
Look at it.
Wow. This is totally cool. It is completely eclipsed. It is dark in the day. That is off the hook. I can see some stars. When I point the camera and the drone up towards the sun, look at the reflection that happens in the lens. All right, so this was an awesome experience, I have to say. Very cool, very phenomenal, something that we look at every day, the sun, and gives us light. And I think probably the most fascinating thing for me was to see how little it takes to actually give us light. Just a sliver, the tiniest sliver, gives us a decent amount of light. And even right now, it's hard to tell on camera, but it kind of looks like we're watching a sunrise. It's kind of orangey, and even that would be enough light to just, you know, go about your business. It's also interesting how cool it is. Just the way that it feels. When I first came out here, I felt like I was feeling bad because I forgot sunscreen, and oh man, this is bad. And basically the eclipse started happening and things cooled off, and obviously that was no longer a concern. But very fascinating, an awesome event. If you ever have a chance to see one of these in your lifetime, you definitely have to check it out. The crowd here just went nuts when the actual eclipse happened. People were so stoked, and heard somebody say that that was definitely worth coming here to see. And so very awesome, very cool. This was just a fun experience, and glad I got to share it with you guys. If you have experienced this eclipse, definitely let me know. Tell me what your experience is, and I'd love to see your videos. Hey, thanks for watching this edition of Man Cave Technology, our Eclipse edition.